15 minutes of infotainment. Be well informed and entertained in 15 minutes. Today, we are digesting it off with one of the influential young people that we have in the motherland. He happens to be an author, he happens to be a poet, he happens to be a spoken word artist, he happens to be the founder of Color Culture. A lot of things that he does, and we'll be connecting with him right here on 15 minutes of infotainment. Without wasting much of it, let's get into it. Guess who I'm talking about? It's no other than Messenjah. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
Very, very awesome. We came to conquer right here.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
So let's get directly into it. Cool. In 3 words, how do you describe yourself?
3 words, ish. Okay, well, first one would be introverted. Let's see, witty and ambitious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Crazy
those
thing.
3.
Okay. Yeah. How did this journey of art begin?
Well, it began way back in 2007. I remember I was really interested in short story writing. Like I would watch cartoons and stuff, and then when I enjoy what I watch, I would be like, let me go write my own story about this, my own version. And I guess that's why I started expressing myself creatively. Down the road, I got exposed to gospel music and the gospel hip hop, to be precise, and then I was interested in it. Started writing gospel hip hop lyrics, and 2014 came, formed Conquest with my brothers Real Talk and Walia, and then I started doing poetry, and the rest has been history since then.
So what would you say is the drive why you are doing all this?
To leave a legacy.
Leave a legacy.
Yeah, I personally find it really, really important for one to consider what they would leave behind, not only after they pass on, but after they actually do certain activities, like, for example, after this interview, what would be remembered about this conversation? What would be remembered based on the interactions about you have with other people? So I'm driven by just the goal to leave something lasting in people's minds and hearts with everything that I write, everything that I say on stage. Basically, that's one of the major drives that I have.
What do you think is the importance of us people in this limelight to value the importance of the influence that we have to impact people positively?
I see. Well, I think it all comes down to you realizing that yours as an individual, you have been gifted with so many things within you that were not just meant to benefit you alone. So I like to even say, there's this saying that I like to just put out there, which is legacy has no scale. Basically saying that regardless of what you do, it doesn't matter the scale to which you do it. As long as you actually impact one life, it's what it makes that particular activity important. So the value in leaving a legacy is really in realizing that your gifts are not meant for yourself or to benefit you alone. They're meant to actually benefit the world and make it a better place.
So now, under the same vein, you have this brilliant idea which you call Color Culture. In a nutshell, what is it all about?
Well, Color Culture is basically an arts platform that I've started alongside a very vibrant team of mine. And it's basically based on how we can express ourselves and tell creative African stories that educate, empower, and inspire people through visual arts.
Right. So how does an aspect of entrepreneurship come in all these things? I believe that there is something that you two must benefit. Besides leaving a legacy, obviously, you need to make something at the end of the day. How does an aspect of entrepreneurship pop in?
Well, one thing that I always know about entrepreneurship is it's never really about making money or making a living per se. Of course, that's an important aspect. Very important aspect, and I'm not gonna dumb that down. But the biggest part of entrepreneurship is what problem are you solving in society? So because you could be focused on the money and then you'll be making a product no one will buy because you keep thinking of money instead of a problem that you're solving. So I guess the problem that I would love to solve as an entrepreneur, creative entrepreneur, at least that's what I like to call myself, is basically just that aspect of a platform that is going to celebrate culture and just be true to its roots.
You've told me that you are a writer, you are a poet, you're a spoken word artist, you are a rapper, all these under one person. How do you divide your time?
Well, I guess it all comes down to self-discipline, and also accountability. I won't lie and say that it's a really simple thing. There are times when I want to just be that guy who lays about and just, maybe scroll on Facebook or watch YouTube all day. But I have to also realize that, for everything that I have within me, every gift that I have, I like to say that there's a Jack or a John or a Belita, or just there's someone out there who's waiting for me to finish a certain task. There's someone out there who's waiting for me to finish my next poem. There's someone waiting for me to start this same platform and actually do the things that I'm doing. There's someone waiting for me to actually express myself so that they can either be inspired or they can actually change their mindset.
All right, so here we do not have closing remarks. As usual, we have the random hotspot. So I ask you 4 questions and expect you to answer each one of it under 30 seconds.
Cool.
All right, so since you are a poet of which you dedicate what you do to the works to make sure that the name of God gets to be glorified. So I base my question from the Bible. Okay. So question 1, what are the first 2 words of the Bible?
In the beginning.
How many baskets of bread were gathered after Jesus performed the miracle of feeding 5,000 people?
Number of baskets. I don't know the number of baskets. I won't lie.
Lastly, what was the final word of Jesus according to the New Testament?
New Testament. Was it the Great Commission where he said, "Go out into the world and make disciples of all"?
What is your word of advice to that young person who's out there and they have this talent but they do not want to utilize it to the max whereby they can be able to educate someone out there?
Another piece of advice to you who's a creative, always remember that you are gifted and that there's somebody out there who's waiting for you to realize the gift that you have within you. You know, and if you feel shy, if you feel scared, always realize that everybody was once at that point. I personally was there myself. I had stage fright when I was in the 10th grade, and now I'm out here doing the things that I'm doing. So you can always just rise up and just step out and do whatever you can to actually make sure someone benefits from what you got in you. Leave a legacy and be remembered.
15 minutes of infotainment. Be well informed and entertained in 15 minutes.